Okay, so we're gonna go over here. This is one of our projects, 1766 Sherwood. We purchase properties like this only if you own the land. I do not recommend anybody ever to ever buy a manufactured home if you don't own the land. What's happening is private hedge funds are purchasing mobile home parks. And what they do is they can raise the land lots to basically whatever they want until that person dies or leaves. And they're not gonna die off because it's what they call a land lease. So land leases are very scary. It's kind of like a HOA fee. They can go up as much as they want and really there's no repercussion, which is very scary, and it sucks for a lot of people that are in their, I would say the last chapter of their life. Normally it's people that are in manufactured homes or in a mobile home community. So if you have a manufactured home and you own the land, we do purchase, so go to truefastoffer.com and we could make you an offer on the property. So on this property right here, we're putting in, tomorrow the new roof is gonna be put in, so we just dropped that off from Lowe's over there. And this was an outside screen at one time. So this is a screen enclosure. And so now what we're doing is we're actually adding heated square footage here. So there's only a couple ways to add value to a property. Number one, it's not a pool, so don't think it's a pool because that doesn't add value. That's just a cosmetic. It's only adding heated square footage to a home. That's truly the only way you could add value to a home. So if you have a property, you're like, man, I want to add more bang for my buck. Well, you figure this: if you can build out for $50 a square foot or $75 a square foot, added heated square footage, but then then now the value is at, let's say, $200 a square foot. Consider you just added that as value. All right. So the difference between you just built it for $50 or $75 a square foot, and now it's worth $200 a square foot, and you just added, let's say, 500 square feet. So now I'm going to show you and kind of bring you through it, meet the guys as well. This is my dad. My dad's retired from the post office, and he literally just comes for fun as a workout, I guess. So he's like, I get bored. This is our lead guy when it deals with all the amazing work and everything that you see. This is him right here. Amazing guy. This is one of our workers as well. ¿Qué tu nombre? I forget. Ángel. All right, muy bien. So I know that's all the Spanish I know that you're gonna hear, so I'm doing my best to get better. So everything right here is closed off. Mira, Tony, dice, ven aquí, dice en español, ¿qué tú haces aquí mismo? So what he's gonna say is in Spanish, you're gonna have to translate this. He's gonna say exactly what he did real quick. Go ahead.
Aquí estamos colocando todo lo que es el siding. Ya se hizo toda la estructura adentro. Ya se le puso todo lo que es electricidad.
So he did the siding, the structure, and then he also ran all the electrical as well. And then we also put a new window as well. We also so what happens is whenever you build this out, so you do the framing, then once you do the framing, then you're putting plywood, right? You're putting what they call OSB, right? Then you put the OSB, then you put the plywood, then you put the house wrap, then you're putting your siding. Now, before all this, you have to get approval, which we got approval to do this, just FYI. And ¿qué más?
Esto es todo por fuera.
Okay, so everything is on the outside, then we're gonna go in the inside as well. Okay, gracias, mano. This is all of the material that's dropped for tomorrow for the roofers. They're gonna be starting this as well. We also have the drywall as well that's gonna be going in the inside. We also close this off as well. And so all this is gonna be siding as well. So all this is gonna be siding. So this again was outside. So all this was an outside screened enclosure, which kind of looks like, if you look over here and you see that property right there, you see the outside screen enclosure? That's what this was beforehand. And now we close everything off. All this is gonna actually be wood siding that we're doing, but if you come inside now, so this was outside. This was the outside elements. All this is going to be drywalled in. All this is going to be drywalled in. The outside, all drywalled in. So this is going to be added heated square footage. Okay. Now, if you come up here, I was very blessed. I was able to run a crew of 9 people for about a year and a half. So I learned a lot about running crews. I also learned I was really bad at it. So I had to learn, payroll on a weekly basis. It was just a lot of work. So now I decided, smaller is better, so I can get better. And so we would always bring these tables because it's easier on the workers. They don't want to bend down, right, to grab a tool. And when look, if you're not used to standing up for 12 hours a day, It's grueling and it's dangerous. It's super dangerous working in construction sites. That's why you see guys wearing jeans. It's really for I didn't understand this in the beginning. I didn't know why guys were wearing jeans. I used to think that contractors were idiots. Like, dude, why are you wearing jeans? Like, it's hot outside. He's like, dude, it's protection. You know, why do you wear boots? I didn't know why. And then I wore them. And first of all, just FYI, these boots are the most comfortable shoes I own. Like, out of all my shoes I've ever had in my whole life, these are the most comfortable, period, ever, period. They're waterproof. They're everything. Like, you could literally, that's why I wear them all the time, is that I don't care what I walk into, ever. I don't ever have to think about like, oh, did I mess up my shoe? Or did it scratch? Oh, did I do this? Like, I don't care because I don't feel anything on my feet. I just feel comfort. That's literally, and it's weird to say, but it's 100% accurate. That's why, like, even fancy events, I still wear my boots. All right, so then everything's laid out. These are the tools. So I'll show you. This is a drywall gun. This is for drywall, whenever you're doing drywall. This is right here. This is a roofing coil nailer. This is for, normally this is for roofing or siding, one of the two that you could use. Now you've got your knee pads whenever you're doing anything on the floors. You always want to wear knee pads. You got your saw right here, electrical. Always recommend gloves, eye goggles if you can. You always want to get a good hammer as well. You always want to make sure that everything's light, but at the same time efficient. That's why people, when they wear tool belts, they always have that hammer there as well. Then you've got your tools, your caulk over here. This is the wiring. This is your outlets for mixing any kind of texture. Everything is here, super nice. Now if you see here as well, right here, we also are redoing the vents that we're gonna have a secondary vent for the AC come out over here. All this is gonna be drywalled. Typically you wanna have everything very secure. You wanna have accountability. Again, these crews are, these are daily, these are my team members, okay? So this is not a hired crew that I hired just for one job. This is somebody I have constantly on my payroll. You know, Tony will go from this job, go to another job, go to another job, and we're, you know, the goal is that you always want at least 10 to 12 rehabs a year with a small crew. So a crew of 3, you can do 1 every single month and make a very, very good living for everybody. My biggest thing is I just want great people around me that if something goes sideways on a project and we're gonna start building up our rental portfolio, I can send out Tony, I can send out one of my guys, quickly just take care of it, get it done, move on. So all these tools I actually own. Everything that you see in our trucks and everything else, the company owns them. And it just makes things very efficient. So I would always recommend, if you choose to start getting into the rehab world, and I would highly recommend, if you're gonna be in real estate, I would take the time like I did. It took a little bit over a year to 2 years. I built a Habitat for Humanity house with a crew of 4, and we actually built it. We can go in that story another time. And then I ran a crew of 9 for over a year, and then I worked as an apprentice not that long ago. Again, everything over 40, so this is all over 40 years old. I've been doing this, and I wanted to learn. It was from Tom Smith Roofing, and I wanted to learn what he knew about roofing, right? So then it gave me a different perspective. And then now, you know, I've always known how to get deals. That's never been the problem from developments and houses. So Franklin, why are you doing houses and you're a developer? Because to me, I believe in, 1, practice, always practicing negotiations. And number 2, the other thing I really, really enjoy is what I found is all of the 15 different transactions I've done in development, all of them came from referrals from somebody with houses. So all my big development deals, and I'm talking massive deals, like multi-million dollar development deals, all of them came from a referral from somebody with a house that I had a good, positive house transaction with. So it's only helped. So again, get really great at one thing, and when you're ready, you will scale. You have to be committed and not attached to it. This is the bathroom over here. Again, it's a manufactured home, so it doesn't have to be great, even though we're gonna be tearing up a lot of things in here. We've already ripped everything out, putting a new vanity, new mirror. Everything's gonna be cleaner. All this is gonna be painted new, just making it nice, refresh it, not too crazy. So we're making a 3-bedroom, 2-bath. Right now it's a 2-bedroom, 2-bath. So then this is the master. Believe you got this. And then this is a smaller bathroom. You could go in there and check it out as well. Now, there's a concept that I call budget versus reality. So budget versus reality means you could have a budget for a project, and then there's the reality behind it. So what I recommend is, if you're watching this, is what you want to do is have an inspection on the property. So for example, if you're selling a property and you're thinking about selling it, right, and you want to sell it to us, right, normally what I'm going to do is I'm going to have an inspection on the property, see if there's anything that you don't even know that's wrong with the property. We want to first make sure that the property can, that there's bones, that the value is there, and that we could actually fix it. But we all have to create a win-win scenario. I've got to make it a win-win for you, but you've got to make it a win-win for me. So budget versus reality, the easiest way that I could make sure that the property is not going to go too crazy above budget of what we think needs to be repaired is I always pay for an inspection. And that inspection is usually like a 50-page report, but it details every single thing that needs to be finished with the property is in that report. Now that could help me and figure out, do I even want to move forward or not? So that's something that you want to consider. If you're selling a property, I highly recommend spend the money if you can, figure out if there's anything wrong with the property that you could probably fix, because it's only going to raise the value. It's only going to help you getting more money out of the property if you do that. Now, if you want to sell it to somebody like me and my company, then that's totally different as well, but we're going to do the same thing, right? We've got to make that win-win scenario. So the other thing as well, there's hidden costs, unexpected surprises. So if you see it right here, if it's soft, that is a little hidden surprise that sometimes you don't even feel, but you could kind of feel it's a little bit soft here. So we may have right here. So all of this sometime had some kind of water damage. So now we would have to cut this out, put a new piece of plywood in, look underneath it, make sure it's reinforced, and then put the flooring down. So again, there's a little hidden things that you don't even think about. Also, what we did to make the property bigger, there used to be a wall here, and we actually cut the wall in half. So now that property, now this is gonna have kind of like a countertop here, and they could put their TV over here if they want, but this will open it up. You wanna open everything up for the individual to enjoy the space. You wanna make it feel bigger than what it really is. You wanna design this that it's just simple, it's not too crazy. You never wanna go above what the area is, and you never wanna go too below it. You kinda wanna stay right in the middle. So normally we just say, normal white kitchen cabinets or gray. Just keep everything simple. Don't go too crazy. Don't have an ego about it. Just do the best that you possibly can. Get in, get out, get a simple win, move on to the next one. And then every single one you do, your goal is just to analyze it, document it like a scientist, figure out how can I improve, how can I get better, and move on to the next one. So when we paint the exterior of the home, what I like doing is I love painting things white, keeping everything really simple, very clean. So this is all going to be painted white, and we're using a wood, like almost like that cedar wood. We're going to put cedar wood right here just to have the appeal, make it look a little bit fresher, a little bit more cleaner as well. Another thing is exit strategy. So what's the exit strategy and what's the ROI on here? So we did a creative financing deal on this project. And so on this property, I basically purchased it for about $80,000. But what I did is I had this held back the second. So that means is there was a mortgage for 50 grand. We negotiated $30,000 to the seller. But also remember, it needed a lot of work and it needed a new roof. So we've had to do a lot of work to it. And then potentially we should be able to sell this anywhere between the 150 and 170 range. So there's a good enough ROI there. But at the same time too, you never know what comes up. So you always want to make sure that you have enough buffer room, because it can go sideways very fast. I've had that happen to me, especially on development deals. Whenever you do a bigger development deal, you can go from a $200,000 budget to $600,000 budget. And it's crazy, but that's just what happens. The other thing is too, is you always want to learn from your mistakes. So I call it, just learning from all of my lessons that I've been through. Over here too, there used to be lattice here. So they just took this out, and this looks 10 times better, just also without the lattice. So the little things that you learn from the past, like what I've learned is, one, that you can extend this. So in the beginning of my career, I didn't even understand about adding value to a property. I didn't understand that you could just add the siding, you could get everything complete. I didn't know that. Now, later in my career, I started discovering, You could just add square footage and it works, and it makes it a win-win for everybody. So those are little things you just start learning from your past. And so the same thing too over here, we pressure wash the property, and I didn't understand that either. So now what we do standard is every time we get into a property, we pressure wash the entire property. Pressure washers are very inexpensive. A lot of times you could just buy a pressure washer, do it yourself if you're in the beginning, and you could save the $500 or $600 that somebody may charge you. And you could just get it done, because you're always gonna need a pressure wash before you paint anyway. So instead of hiring a company out, you could just have your guys do it and just get it over with. Because really it's time. You need to be very fast when you're doing a rehab, because every day is interest. So that's why you need to get in and get out. And also you wanna make sure there is quality control. So what I've learned is, and we'll kind of walk through it, is, and this is also a great backyard because there's no neighbors. This is another reason why I love the property. And nobody who likes who loves this. This is like simple. There's nothing back here. And this is another reason why I like boots as well, because you never know what you're gonna walk in, so you just walk comfortably. But what I've learned is from quality control is, the guy that I did the inspection, remember I brought up the point about the inspectors? I'll bring the inspector back at the end of the project and see if we missed anything so we could fix it immediately. So that's another thing. You want to make sure you have some kind of quality control when you're doing your final walkthrough. Everything is checked. Every handle is working. Every switch, every outlet, every air handler is working. Everything just works. And then having a third party double check that is even better. The bigger picture is this: whenever you're doing big rehabs, this is not a huge one, but you do want to get good at it, just because when you start understanding how to keep your guys busy, your tile guys, your floor guys, your electricians, your plumbers, you could test these guys out on smaller projects. So whenever you do your new build with a duplex or something else, you've got a repertoire of different individuals that you can actually pull from. So you could say, look, I used an electrician for new construction, but why can't I use him for a rehab? Does he call me back? How's his communication? Same thing with a plumber. Hey, I need this plumber for a new construction, but how does he do over here? So little things that you can start doing is only gonna help you out in the long run. So this is a complete walkthrough of midway through a project that we're working on in Sherwood in Lakeland, Florida. And again, if you're interested in selling your property, you're listening to this, again, go to True Fast Offers, or you can find me anywhere on social media. Let me know which property you have, and we can see if we could work something out. If you got something out of this that's educational, a highlight, a point, or something out of it, leave a comment below, like it, share it. It'll mean the world to me, because I'm really doing my best to put the best quality, real-time, education about what I'm actually doing in the marketplace in real time out there. So I hope you're really getting something out of it. Thank you guys so much. I'll see you guys later then. Bye.